There's two types of what we call injunctive orders. An injunctive order is this incredible, awesome power the court has to tell you to do something or not to do something, to stay away from a certain area, to not build a building on a certain place. That's what an injunction is. And essentially, an order of protection, or for people who don't have an intimate relationship, a stalking no contact order, that injunction keeps you from having contact with that person, communicating with that person, or coming within certain areas like their work, their school, or their home. That is an incredibly powerful thing that the judge can do, the court can impose upon you, which has long-reaching effects on you. It has effects on where you can live, it has effects on where you can go, it has effects on licensure, it has effects on job opportunities in the future, it has effects on certain constitutional rights that you have, and can have long-reaching, lifetime effects that are damaging to you if not handled correctly. In our practice, we see people who have legitimate orders of protection or legitimate stalking no contact orders, which we prosecute, and we end up meeting with the client to make sure that they have the protection of the court so that they don't have to lay awake at night with one eye open, fearing that the person is going to come to their house or their work and harass or cause problems for them. Likewise, we have issues where people are accused of these things, and sometimes when you have certain relationships, like when you have a domestic relationship, someone will give advice to another person to say, hey, go file this, you'll get the house, you'll get the car, you'll end up having the kids. And that way it circumvents the domestic relations process of having to go through the allocation judgment, and you'll get them immediately and keep that other person, your significant other, from getting what they love the most, their children. And that has happened in the past, and it is part and parcel of why it is so good to have two people working on this who understand both sides of what's going on. My experience in emergency orders of protection and stalking no contact orders are things that I have spent the past 30 years dealing with in going through this weird eddy of the law where we end up dealing with specific rules of evidence, specific presentation requirements, and specific things that we have to do in order to meet the elements of a stalking no contact or an order of protection, or defend against them to defeat this order. And because there are different standards in this civil case, when you have them in conjunction with criminal cases, like an allegation of domestic violence or a criminal activity, then that becomes a difficult line to walk for someone who doesn't understand both areas of the law, because you're dealing with state criminal charges and you're also dealing with a civil injunctive order that have to be litigated at the same time, and they can cross over and really deleteriously affect one or the other because of what can happen in one versus what may happen in the other.